Hi Virgo, welcome to June. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I start your reading, I want to talk about what's coming up this month astrologically. Mercury is going direct, your ruling planet, on June 3rd, and then Saturn goes retrograde the next day, June 4th. Then Mercury will move into Gemini on the 14th with the full moon in Sagittarius on the same day. And then we have a new moon in Cancer on the 28th of June, and Neptune goes retrograde. So we have a lot of things going on, but it's not as intense as last month. So let's see what the cards say for Virgo in terms of love and relationships. What does Virgo need to know about love and relationships this month in June? June 2022. What does Virgo need to know about love and relationships for June 2022? What do we need to know? What does Virgo need to know about love and relationships for the month of June? Okay, let's see what we got. The Seven of Cups, the Seven of Swords, the Ten of Swords in the past, the Seven of Wands, the Nine of Swords coming up, the King of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, the Chariot, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Page of Pentacles. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Page of Swords. Okay, so you have 3 sevens in this reading. You're in a period of transition this month. With the Seven of Cups, you may have more than one option in terms of love, or you're considering your options. But you're not, you really haven't been acting on it yet, because the Seven of Cups is an energy of just thinking about it, imagining what the future would be like if I did this, that, or the other thing. Which choice, what do I choose? So there's a little bit of a kind of a hesitancy because you haven't figured out what you really want in a relationship. So this could be a choice between multiple people. Maybe you're dating. If you're dating, well, I have all these options. Who's the right person for me? Or if you're in a relationship, do I stay or do I go? Do I look for something else out there? You have the Seven of Swords crossing this energy. That can be kind of sneaky energy. In some cases, you could feel that. Sometimes it's known as the Thief card. You may feel like someone's trying to take something from you, or someone's not being totally honest with you, not totally transparent. You may feel like they're saying one thing to your face, but doing something else behind your back. But the other way that this energy could play out is that you're not facing the truth about something and you're sweeping things under the rug. So it may be time for you to really look deeper, especially with this Page of Swords here, and really find out what's going on and really figure out what you really want. Don't take things at surface value this month in relationship. You have the Ten of Swords here as in the past. So you might feel like you're done with something. You're at the end, like something may have ended, and you feel defeated or down for the count. But it could also mean that you just decided, I just can't give this any more energy. So there could be it could have been a relationship that ended, and you just like, I've got to move on. I just can't take this anymore. I'm just done. Or you may feel that someone betrayed you, and so it could work out 2 ways because this is a general reading. Some of you might feel like, I'm done with this relationship. I'm done with this cycle in my life. I just can't give it any more energy. But if you notice with the Ten of Swords, the worst is over. There's a sunrise on the horizon. And you could say it's either sunset or sunrise, but whatever it is, there's a new day dawning. If you feel betrayed by someone, you might decide, like, I'm done. I'm done with this relationship. I just can't do it anymore. And especially with this Page of Swords here, this could be dealing with someone who can be challenging. The page can represent gossip, spying, someone who's like stalking you, or you're stalking someone, you're checking someone out really carefully, you're being checked out. It's a message. It could even mean having to have a difficult conversation with someone, especially if like you're ending a relationship. You may feel like, well, I have to talk to you, and it's not, the words have to be said. Sometimes the page can represent someone. You have to choose your words carefully. It's not what you say, but how you say it. So there could be some verbal abuse with the Page of Swords. So if you were in a relationship where you felt like you were being verbally abused, you might have decided, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I'm done. If that's you, then in any case, the page is saying, whatever your message is, try to deliver it with kindness. And try to be, even though the actual content is not pleasant, try to make it as kind as possible. So if you're deciding to leave a relationship, consider the other person's feelings. But also look deeper beneath the surface. If you feel like someone's not being honest, ask questions. Don't let them get away with it, because the Seven of Swords can sometimes mean like someone has a hidden agenda. And now you have the Seven of Wands in the recent past. So that's about standing up for what you believe in, setting some boundaries. If there's a situation of competition, you have the upper hand. So if you're dating someone and you find out there's another person in the situation, you still are the favored one. But I feel like you've been dealing with a difficult relationship issue where you need to set some boundaries, because someone might be overstepping their boundaries or doing things that you consider a deal breaker. Coming up in the future, you have the Nine of Swords. Now, this is a card of worry and stress, mental stress. And sometimes it could be a card of guilt. So if you've done something you don't feel like, it depends on, if you may not have handled the breakup in the right way, you might feel guilty. Or you might just be worried about the future. Okay, if I ended this, am I going to find love again? What's coming up next? Well, you have the King of Cups here in the future. And the King of Cups is usually someone who's a good friend that you can talk to. He could be a counselor. The King of Cups is someone who has a lot of compassion, deep feeling. Could be a water sign. So that would be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. But he's someone that you can really talk to, and he understands. And he has a healing influence on people. So maybe there's like someone that is in your circle where you could discuss some of the worries in your mind and help you to heal from whatever the Ten of Swords has brought. The good thing is the Ten of Swords means the worst is over, and you can only go up from here. And things are starting to change because of all these sevens. So don't worry about the future, because Virgos have a tendency to be very analytical, and you might be all in your head about this, imagining all kinds of scenarios. So just go with the flow, focus on the future, focus on what you really want, and let the past go. Don't dwell on the past or on any negativity or any losses. But this person could probably be a help to you. The Knight of Pentacles is here. You have two Pentacle cards. So the Knight can represent an earth sign. You might be thinking about an earth sign. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. But this is in your negative thinking sector. So for some reason you're doubting that you could have a relationship with this person. But the Knight of Pentacles is someone who is very down to earth, very stable. Someone who could be a good influence in your life. But you need to take things slow. You need to take things one day at a time. This person does not like to rush. So don't, if you meet someone new, or if you're involved with an earth sign especially, like yourself, don't rush into anything. Just take it one day at a time. In your environment, you have the Chariot. Now, the Chariot is a card of travel. It could be a card of travel. It's a card of victory. The Chariot can also represent Cancer energy. This is a card of victory through discipline and focus. So maybe you've had a lot of irons in the fire. You've been doing a lot of different things, but not really focusing on what you really want in a relationship. The Chariot is telling you get rid of the distractions. And especially with the Seven of Cups here, you may have been trying a little bit here, a little bit there. So if you're in a dating situation, maybe you need to narrow your options down. Even if you're in a relationship that is going through a difficult time, you need to think realistically, like, what can I do? And don't just busy yourself with work to avoid the problems that are in the relationship. Because you can be victorious, you just have to focus and put the work in. The Wheel of Fortune is in your wish fulfillment sector. That means things are changing. So if you've been going through a difficult time, especially with all these eclipses and Mercury retrograde, things are starting to change, and I think for the better. So there is hope at the end. There's a light at the end of the tunnel for some of you who have been going through some difficulties, especially with the sevens. But right now, you're in that transition period. So like the old is, you've finished one cycle, but the new cycle hasn't been born yet, hasn't come into view. You're kind of transitioning. So that's why I would say just take your time this month. Don't rush into anything. Think about, what do I really want in a relationship and how can I get there, but let me take things one day at a time. And don't let worry or fear bring up all these like possible imaginary scenarios, because a lot of times with the Nine of Swords, a lot of the fears and the things that we worry about don't ever come to pass. It's just our mind creating all these scenarios. And then you end with the Page of Pentacles. Pages can be a message, so you might get a message from someone, but it's also a card about being open to the new, being open to learning new things. So you might decide to take a class. That's the card of the student. You might decide, maybe I need to just get out more and socialize and learn some new things, meet some new people. But at least you're open. You're open to meeting new people, and there could be a new love on the horizon, because pages can represent a new beginning or at the early stages of a relationship. So for those of you who have ended something, and it may not have ended in the nice way, there's hope. Talk it out with people that you trust. The king can even be a counselor, someone you go to for guidance. And be open to the new this month, because things are changing. So let's see what we have for the astrology. So on the 14th, you have a full moon in Sag. And that's happening in your 4th house of home and 10th house of career. So the moon is in the 4th, the 10th. The 10th house is the career or your life path. So something is coming to completion around this time. Some truths are going to be revealed, because the full moon in Sagittarius is about, full moons always reveal things, but with Sagittarius, it's truth, your belief system. You're seeing the truth in a relationship, especially involving a home situation, especially involving your life path, where the direction you want to go in. And this moon is squaring Neptune in the 7th, so that if you've been under any kind of illusions or delusions about a partnership, I feel like at this time you might see the truth in that situation. So if someone has not been honest with you, you're going to see that at this full moon. And you may make a decision either to fix it or walk away. Saturn is your friend this month, because Saturn is in Aquarius trining the sun and sextiling the moon. Saturn's in the 6th house. So you've been working really hard with Saturn in the 6th house. You may feel like a slave to your job. But Saturn is telling you, you need to take better care of you. Maybe you've been sacrificing too much for others, because Virgo is the sign of service and sacrifice. And Virgos like to give. They like to be useful. They like to feel like they're helping others. So if you've been giving too much in a relationship, or you're giving too much in general, even at work, it's time for you to maybe be more discriminating about where you put your energy. Be more discerning about who you're helping. And don't forget to put yourself on that list, because you need to help you. You need to heal. Saturn may be telling you got to get serious about your health and your lifestyle habits. So if you've been neglecting your body or your health, it's time to create a new cycle or a new regime that's going to support you give you the energy you need. Because if you're burning out, you might be giving so much that you're burnt out. So you need to find that work-life balance. Family, home, career. And that might help solve some of the problems. Venus is in your 9th house with Uranus and the North Node. So you might be even deciding to travel. You might have an opportunity to either travel. The 9th house is also higher education. You might decide to take some kind of training, go back to school, or even teach. Because if you're older and you have wisdom to share, the 9th house is also about sharing your wisdom. So you might have an opportunity to share the wisdom that you know. And with Venus being there, it could be sudden. You're going to love whatever you're doing with Uranus and Venus. There even could be a romantic interest that comes out of this activity. So you could go on vacation and meet someone, or you could travel somewhere and connect with someone. You could be teaching. You could go back to school and meet someone there. Because the Venus-Uranus connection is exciting. Things are like love at first sight, usually. And Venus rules love or money. So it could be that a sudden opportunity comes up and gives you a chance to travel or to learn or to teach. Because the 9th house is also a card of faith and spirituality, your philosophy on life. So you might connect with someone who's really exciting, a free spirit that changes your views on or your thinking in some way and your belief system. Mercury is moving from Taurus into Gemini now that it's direct, and it's strong in Gemini, and it's in your 10th house. So your career may take you in a direction where you're doing more writing, more communicating. Maybe you're involved in some kind of social media project or a writing project. And Mercury is your ruling planet, so Mercury is your friend this month too. But Mercury is squaring Pluto. It's an out-of-sign square, so it won't be as intense, especially now that Mercury's going direct and Pluto's going retrograde, so they're moving away from each other. But it could bring up some power struggles with children. The 5th house is the house of children. Maybe there's some conversations that need to be had with children that you've been putting off. But the 5th house is also about creative projects, romance, fun. So you are thinking about, there could be some activity in the 5th house with Pluto there that transforms your life in a positive way. But it may disrupt other areas of your life. So the thing that you want to be careful of, especially with Mercury squaring Pluto, is your communication style. That you're not coming across too harsh or too, because Mercury square Pluto and Pluto contacts can make your message, you can destroy someone with words. So you want to be careful. Choose your words carefully. You don't want to destroy, you just want to communicate. Mars is going through your 8th house and it's conjunct Chiron. So Mars in the 8th house can bring up some expenses or financial issues, especially if you're expecting to receive money from an outside source. It could also be that have to do with taxes or debt. So you might have to focus on those areas this month, especially if you're ending a relationship. There could be some contractual things going on. But Chiron and Mars, the 8th house is not only other people's money and resources, it's also transformation and intimacy, sex when it relates to intimacy, really bonding at the soul level. And with Chiron there, I feel like you may need to heal some wounds around intimacy. And Mars is giving you the courage to face those demons and to work with that energy and to heal, to look at yourself and heal anything that's been preventing you from really connecting with someone at the soul level. So then we have the new moon in Cancer, and that's favorable to your sign. That's going to be on June 28th, the end of the month. And that's happening in your 11th house of friendship, hopes, and dreams. So if you decide, like the full moon may bring an issue to the surface that needs to be dealt with, and you can either fix it or walk away. But then you have this opportunity for a new beginning with the moon in Cancer, to connect with friends that are there for you, that are nurturing, to connect with groups of people that you feel are more like your soul tribe. you still have the square to Jupiter. Jupiter will be in your 8th house at this time. And Jupiter in the 8th can bring money in. It brings opportunity. It could be like, winning some contest and you get money, an extra money. Like money's coming in from someplace other than where the money that you make with your job or your career. But the caution here is don't go crazy spending it, because with Jupiter, the square aspect of Jupiter is not really a negative one. Like some of the other malefic planets can be more difficult, but it can lead to excess. So you want to be sure you don't go over the top. I mean, if you get a windfall at this new moon, or you start to feel hope, like, oh great, I'm getting the funding I need, or I'm getting the money I need, don't go crazy and, blow it all on something, especially on friends. You might be partying, you might be like, yeah, let's party. Jupiter is sextile Venus in the 10th, so Venus now has moved into Gemini and moved into your 10th house. That's good for your career and your life path. If you're doing any kind of work, you're really loving it. You might be doing something even more creative, using your creativity. What else do you have there? You have Mercury there too, so you're coming up with great ideas. Your career path is going great. You might even find love through your work somehow. Mars is sextile Saturn. Mars in the 8th is sextile Saturn in the 6th. So it's really time now to face what needs to be healed within you and take care of you, to nurture yourself and be committed to a plan of action, because Saturn represents commitment, dedication, discipline. And so you're feeling more disciplined, especially with work. You might have to set some boundaries around work too, not just relationships. And Mercury in the 10th is sextile Chiron in the 8th. So it's really a good time to communicate. If something is really bothering you, a conversation can bring healing at this time at deep levels, where it might even change you on a deep level. It may transform your life in some way. So don't be afraid to speak up. If something is really bothering you, even though the message may be difficult, it has to come out. Don't keep sweeping it under the rug. This is a time for you to have a new beginning and bring more joy into your life and connect with people that are more in alignment with who you are and your interests. So don't settle for less. And if you're feeling that you need healing in some area, don't be afraid to speak up and set some boundaries. And don't be a slave to not only your job, but even a relationship. Because you have to give to yourself so that you'll have the energy to keep giving to others. So that's my forecast, Virgo, for this month. I hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button, leave a comment if this resonated with you. If you'd like a private reading, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website, and we can do a reading based solely on your issues. This is a general reading, so it may not apply to everyone. But if it applies to you, let me know. I love to read the comments, and thank you for your support. The best way you can support this channel is like, subscribe, comment. And of course, if you want to order a reading, I'm always here for you. So thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for listening. If you're new, welcome. Have a wonderful month, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.